Hi, Charlie Coltman here, CEO and founder of Cancerlife. So it's been 8 years. Why has it taken Cancerlife this long to reach this point? Um, and it's a good question. So, purpose of this blog post is to give you a really quick synopsis of my 8 year journey as founder of Cancerlife. Um, what's ironic is that even after 8 years, there's still not a solution that is embedded in the system that's essentially improving quality of life for patients. There's no competitor. Still, there are a few providers that are trying to improve symptom management. There's some that are embedding themselves into some cancer centers, but the issue is that Cancer Life is essentially trying to solve a really hard problem, which is symptom management in cancer care today. And the only way to be able to address symptom management effectively is with really good data, right? So, there was a study in 2017 by Dr. Beisch at Sloan Kettering where when patients were emailed a survey once a week for roughly 6 months, they shared that survey data with their care team, and then they showed an amazing 36% improvement over standard of care and a 50% survival rate, 50% improvement in survival compared to the standard of care cohort. That's amazing. That's kind of been the foundation of everything. But for 8 years, the issue is around great data, right? This was a study. Patients, were emailed once a week, and it was something like a 27 or 32 question survey. So um, the problem is cancer patients are exhausted, fatigued, overwhelmed, and to get them, even when they know it's in their best interest to collect their own data, they just don't do it because they're exhausted. And when you're fatigued and nauseous, why do I want to sit and try to answer 27 questions every week? It's not too much. So we kind of figured this out that ultimately what patients don't want is to have to be, you can't just throw them in front of a symptom burden app and ask them to fill it out every week. It just doesn't work. Trying to text them and remind them is just going to annoy them. So we had to solve the data collection problem first. And it was only through a lot of trial and error that we figured out that the way to do it and the way Cancer Life does it is through the experience of a social network. So just like posting on Instagram, you're posting your health status with a bunch of other patients and getting social support. That's the net benefit to you in the short term. And over time, as you interact on the platform, we're able to build these reports. So we had to figure out the data collection platform or problem first, and then we could move on to validating that problem. So where we are today is 2017, we launched our first clinical trial. We identified the fact that patients love the social support aspect. We built in 2018 this amazing social network that has followers and everything you can do on Facebook. Cancer Life can also. And then we had to go through, relaunch our study again, and I can announce that just based on our initial phase 2 results, we're showing a 25% improvement in quality of life per participant that went through our trial. And now, today, we're reaching the final milestone, the final pinnacle of clinical validation of a randomized control trial at actually a vulnerable population. We're going to take Cancer Life into a vulnerable community, and we're going to try to address, or I feel like we're going to address, the disparities in care and improve the disparities between black and white in cancer care. Is just insulting. It's 50% worse outcomes for African American black patients, and we're going to bring Cancer Life into this center and see if we can't improve outcomes for this vulnerable population in a randomized control trial. So, 8 years, yes, it's been a long journey, but it's been an incredibly rewarding one. The people that I've met have been incredible. They're friends. Every conference I go to are people I've known for years. Um, it's been incredibly hard. It's been filled with rejection, but as the famous Stoicist Marcus Aurelius said, the obstacle is the way, meaning the journey you take is where you get meaning. And I couldn't be prouder of where we are today. And even after 8 years in healthcare, 8 years is actually a drop in the bucket. Yeah, I'm in cancer care, and from a perspective of a new therapeutic, 8 years is actually a fast track to a new drug. Now, we're not a drug, but we are going to be a validated therapeutic that improves outcomes for cancer patients. So, anyway, just like to say that 8 years may seem like a long time, but it's a drop in the bucket when you consider the important problem we're solving, and raising quality of life for potentially millions of cancer patients is well worth the shoes of walking through this amazing journey. So thank you very much.